Hey, what's going on guys, Banner Hunter Palin here, and today I want to talk about what if Sakura had wood release. So a lot of people give Sakura a lot of flack, and I think the main reason of that is because Sakura doesn't have any techniques or jutsus of her own. Whereas when you look at Naruto did learn the Rasengan from Jiraiya, but he also made his own variations of it with the Rasen Shuriken. And then when you look at Sasuke did learn Chidori from Kakashi, but he also made his own variations of it and also made a lot of jutsus of his own design. But then when you look at Sakura is just lacking in the originality department per se. So a lot of people have asked, what if Sakura had wood release? That's a great question. I want to do a deep dive in it, so let's get to it. So what exactly is wood release? So wood release is a Kekkei Genkai mainly used by Hashirama Senju. Hashirama Senju is the only person in the original Naruto series that was able to use wood release naturally. Other characters like Madara, Obito, and Yamato had to have Hashirama cells embedded within them to use it. Though in Boruto there's a Jonin by the name of Moegi who is a part of Konohamaru's squad in part 1, and she is able to use wood release. So through my research, I couldn't find any reason on why she is able to use this, whereas in the past it was so hard to obtain. And it's not much backstory. Maybe she's a descendant of the Senju, but it still doesn't explain why characters like Tobirama or Tsunade cannot use it as easily as Hashirama. So I think a good change would be that characters such as Tsunade and Tobirama could use wood release, but just not to the same capability and max output that Hashirama Senju could. So where does that leave Sakura? So similar to the original series, when Sasuke left to go train with Orochimaru and Naruto left to go train with Jiraiya, Sakura would have stayed in the village and trained with Tsunade. Though the only difference is, instead of only learning how to be a medical ninja, she would have also learned how to use wood release. From what we know from part 1, Sakura was supposed to be really good at chakra control, and it was heavily implied that she could be good at Genjutsu, and I think that Tsunade would have taken advantage of that fact. So I created 3 jutsus that Sakura could use if she had wood release. So the first jutsu's name is Wood Release Forest of Cherry Blossoms. Sakura would create a small forest of cherry blossom trees to lure her enemies in after her. This technique is better suited against large numbers of enemies. Once the enemies are within the forest, they will enter her Genjutsu, which will dull the senses the longer you are within this forest. Sakura would then be able to move in between the trees similar to Kimimaro was able to do in his Forest of Bones and slowly dispatch her enemies one by one. The second jutsu's name is Wood Release Woodland Piercing Floor. Sakura would store a lot of chakra in her fist and strike the ground, causing a massive shockwave through the earth. The impact would cause massive wooden spikes to rise through the ground, piercing her enemies within a certain radius. Clearly, this is an area of effect ability. And the third and my favorite ability is a Genjutsu by the name of Slicing Petals Dance. Once Sakura unsheaths her sword, her enemy would suddenly be swarmed by pink petals around them, similar to the ones that fall from cherry blossom trees. While this is activated, the enemy will be attacked by a swarm of shuriken, though they will only notice the damage until after the Genjutsu is released. Sakura would then use her blade to deal the finishing blow through their chest. So from what you can gather from these 3 abilities is Sakura's fighting style would be more akin to Aizawa from My Hero Academia, and she would be better suited when she is outnumbered. Though in this version of her character, like I mentioned in the last jutsu, she would be a sword specialist similar to Karoi from the Cloud Village. So in the event that she have to fight an enemy one-on-one, she will use her Kenjutsu or her swordsmanship to defeat those enemies on top of her Genjutsu to dull their senses and catch them off guard. So Sakura with wood release. Do you think this would be a good idea? Me personally, I think this would be an amazing idea, giving Sakura her own unique jutsus that she is kinda lacking in the original series. But tell me what you think down below. Also, if you enjoy my content, please hit that subscribe button. And if you want to hear shorter, more witty content from me, please follow me on TikTok at Bounty Hunter Palette. But that's all I gotta say, guys. Have a great day and peace.